Yo, have you ever had an experience where you saw like a performer or like an artist play and then you had to immediately check them out? Well, this happened to me last night here in Seoul where I saw this band play live and I was blown away by their performance that I had to immediately check out their work and write up a review. So that's where we're at right now. So, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazable. 안녕하세요. We're out here in Korea, so we got to do a little inside. But yeah, it's your boy Matt. We're doing reviews, talking about bands, discussing stuff, having fun. Thank you for coming on by. If you're new, you're the best. If you've been here before, you're the super best. Yeah, I'm super excited to talk about this new EP I've discovered from a band called CultGazer with their latest EP, possibly their debut EP called Prototye. So you probably have never heard about this band, so I'm happy to, explain a little bit who they are. They are a shoegaze slash post rock band out of Seoul here in South Korea. And from what I can tell, it seems like they are all very young, probably just out of high school or in their middle ages of university age, early 20s. So it's really cool that there's a young band out here. There's still a lot more band music coming out of Korea right now, but it's cool seeing young people make music that is band oriented here in Korea, and it's really nice. And it's a 5-piece band. And when I was watching them last night at a really cool venue here in Seoul called Baby Doll, it was just like a wall of cool sound just coming out of everything they were making. Lots of distortion, lots of reverb on the bass and everything. It was just a really cool experience listening to them. And so it's just really hard to describe them because, shoegaze, it can all kind of blend together. And I think that any genre can all blend together. But this one, they felt very distinctive in their presentation. And I think what got me was like, these are clearly young kids making music. So it's just cool seeing them make very awesome music at such an early age in their life, which means they could probably make more amazing music as they go out. So kudos to them. So let's talk about their EP, Prototye. I almost forgot it there. And their EP here called Prototye is blurring the lines between, dream and distortion with this short little EP. It's an EP that kind of floats in between different genres like shoegaze, ambient, and experimental territories with a very remarkable grace to it. It's an immersive listening experience. It's got this like hazy feel to it as they blend, deep bass lines, reverb soaked guitars, and ghostly vocals that feel both intimate and quite vast at the same time. And it makes it feel like, you're kind of like drifting in and out of a half remembered dream. It has that just dreamy like state to it. The EP opens up with the song Birdcage, which really captures the whole essence of the band very early on with their work. It has a very floaty atmosphere to it with some really tight drumming and deep and resonating bass that gives you a sense of like weightlessness as you listen to it. And the band has two vocalists in it, one male, one female, and the interplay between these two vocalists feels so effortlessly. They go back and forth between the male and female vocals and blend them together very nicely, weaving through a very dreamy like state with very soft synthesizers and guitars in the background. And as the song gradually expands and builds upon itself, it like I wouldn't say not implodes, explodes into an ambient haze. Equal parts shoegaze and equal parts, like emotional tension to it. And it does a really good job of setting the emotional foundation for the rest of this EP. So I want to play a small clip of Birdcage for you so you get a sense of just the dreamy like state and the nice mix of the male and female vocals they got going on here. They've got so much going on in this song, and it's good. What follows next is a song called Ed that has a bit of a darker texture to it and a heavier pulse. Deep drums and like eerie like siren tones really pull the listener into something that is a little bit more unsettling. While there's some ghostly like female vocals that really haunt the whole mix with a very ghostly like precision. And again, the back and forth between the male and female singers just feels so natural and feels very alive and creates a lot of tension. and it feels like, a conversation between comfort and chaos all mixed together. And as the song kind of swells and retreats, kind of like an ocean wave going back and forth, CultGazer does a really good job of building up this big building up to big atmospheric moments in their songs without ever really losing a sense of control. And so by the time we get to the song Nerf, the band kind of starts experimenting a little bit more with their sound. The track kind of opens up with some very soft, washed out like synths and some glitchy robotic kind of vocals that really give it a very disorienting but very hypnotic feel to it. It's probably one of the most daring songs on this EP because it has like a wave of sound that just rushes over you and then constantly like dissolves and then reforms. It's very push and pull in terms of all the emotions and sounds they're making here. And this particular song really showcases CultGazer's ability to balance out beauty and weirdness. It's offering a very sonic palette that's familiar to Shoegazer fans, but filtered through a very uniquely modern lens. And I gotta say, it's a pretty out there song, but it feels really good in the overall grand scheme of things. So here's a small clip of Nerf. It's got a weird quality to it, but man, you can't help but smile. Mito kind of stripped things back a little bit by having some very far and distant female vocals with some very sparse instrumentation before swelling into some like grunge-like inspired riffs and some very distorted male harmonies. There's a heavy emotional core on this song. A sense of sadness, guilt, and eventual release from all these like sad emotion cuts through the haze. Every lyric feels weighted, every note just carefully placed. And perhaps it's probably one of the most emotionally raw tracks on this EP, and it's carrying this very quiet, devastating feel to it that lingers long after you listen to it. So here's a small clip of Mito and just the big climactic end it has. It just sounds so raw and emotional here. And then you have the song Pigeon that closes everything out, and it kind of ties everything very nicely into one little package. It has some really washed out vocals, and like the drums are really driving this song, building towards a very like heavenly clarity. And you have some shimmering guitars and just airy female vocals that really bring this EP to an emotional peak. The song's dynamic shifts, from soft ambience to powerful releases, just really shows, how CultGazer can really balance things out very nicely, balancing fragility with force, beauty with distortion. So as a whole, this EP, Prototye from the band CultGazer, feels like a very deep, emotional, atmospheric journey guided by this band that understands the power of restraint as much as intensity. And I would say CultGazer is doing a really good job of channeling the spirit of Shoegazer like alumni or pioneers, similar to like Slowdive or the band Nothing. But they're infusing their own unique sense of Korean underground melancholy and expressionism and experimentation. It's a record that doesn't ask to be heard, but simply to be really felt. And so as the final notes of this EP, Prototye, just kind of fades away, it leaves you in this weird suspended space of, like heartbreak and serenity. When distortion becomes beauty and then noise becomes a memory. Very, very good stuff being well written here by the band CultGazer. I was thoroughly impressed. Like I said, I had to run home and quickly listen to this EP a couple times and then just like soak it all in. And then I had to make this review because I was thoroughly impressed. And so it didn't let me down seeing them live and then hearing them on their EP. I would have to give this debut EP from CultGazer, Prototye, a good and solid 8.5 out of 10. Links down below. Check them out. They're a new band out here in Korea. They definitely need the love. So give them a listen. And until next time, guys, See you in the pit.